Right, here's your lesson on factoring. So if you need this lesson, or you were in class or you weren't in class, these are the techniques we use to factor. Now, to factor means that we're going to write it as a product rather than in expanded form. So for number one, we're looking at what do these both have in common, both the terms. What's the largest number that goes into 6 and 42, right? If I look at n squared and n, they both have one n in common, and then we divide. So when we divide, we have 1n, and then negative 42 divided by 6, we're left with minus 7. Let's look at number 2 again. We're going to divide to figure this out. So what's the largest number that goes into both evenly, and they both have at least an x, and then you divide. 30 divided by 6, 12 divided by 6. And then how can you double check that you did it? Oops, 12 divided by 6 is what number? 2. Let's write this again. 5x plus 2. Now, what can you do to double check? What's 6x plus 5x? See how it matches? What's 6x times 2? Perfect. Done. Number 3. This is a trinomial because it has 3 terms to it. So we're going to draw an x, and the number on top is the last number, and then the middle number in the, underneath. 2 numbers that multiply to negative 27. Now, it's important to know that 27 is negative, so they subtract to equal 6. So 9 times 3 is that 27, and 9 take away 3 is 6. They match. Now, think about the sign. So because they multiply to a negative number, one number is positive and one number is negative. Now, the bottom number is positive. So that means the bigger number is positive and the smaller number is negative. So positive 9 times negative 3 matches. Positive 9 take away 3. So in this case, we have the letter k. So it's k plus 9 and k minus 3. All right, again, we're going to set this up for negative 4 and 3. So find the 2 numbers. Now, because it's negative, that means that they subtract to equal 3. Because the bottom number is positive, the bigger number is positive, the smaller number is negative. So the 2 numbers are x plus 4 and x minus 1. So it's important that you try first to practice and then see if you did it right. So again, I'm going to have negative 10 and 3 and find the 2 numbers that fit. So it's 5 and negative 2. And at any time you can press pause and then keep practicing on your own to see if you did it right. So it's positive 5 and negative 2. Press pause and try it. The 2 numbers are negative 8 and 7. So the 2 numbers are 8 and negative 1. And we have a V, which is fine. Any letter could be used in the alphabet. 30 and negative 13. Be careful for this one. So it's negative 10 and negative 3. So a negative times a negative is positive, and they add up to negative 13. So we have V minus 10 and V minus 3. Again, a trinomial. 2 numbers that multiply to 7, and same 2 numbers add to 8. Both are positive. So it's x plus 7, x plus 1. Order doesn't matter. Number 9. This one gets a little trickier. So all the other ones were basic trinomials. What makes this one different is that leading number, that first number with the quadratic is not 1. It's a number other than 1. So this is going to require a couple steps. So first, we're going to take the first number times the last number. That's negative 45. And then the middle number underneath. We're going to do exactly what we just did. So do you see where, I know it's a little focused in and out. Anyway, do you see where negative 45 came from? So the first number times the last number. All right, now what number would fit? That would multiply to negative 45. And because it's negative, one number is positive and one number is negative. So a little bit tricky, but it's 15 times 3, which might be a little beyond your times tables, but it is 15 times 3. Because 12 is negative, the bigger number is negative, and the smaller number is positive. So we start with x minus 15 and x plus 3. Then we have another step. We take that leading number, that coefficient, we divide both numbers by it. So what is 15 divided by 5? And then 3 divided by 5. When it's a fraction, it doesn't go in evenly. It needs to be in lowest terms. So 3 over 5, is it in lowest terms? It is. So we take the denominator and slide it in front. So that's 5x plus 3. Number 10. Same thing. The leading number, so we're going to multiply. Do you see where negative 28 comes from? And then 27 underneath. The first number times the last number. So the numbers that fit here are positive 28 and negative 1. They fit because they multiply to negative 28 and add to 27. So I'm going to write down 28 and negative 1. Then I'm going to divide by 7. So 28 divided by 7, and then 1 over 7 is in lowest terms. So I slide the denominator in front, and I have my factors. Number 11. You're going to be a pro at this. 3 times 10 and 13. So the two numbers that fit are 10 and 3. Again, you can always press pause, right? Try it first. So I have 10 and 3, and then I'm going to divide by 3, that leading number, and then I'm going to slide. So it's in lowest terms, so I slide. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and I have my answer. Number 12. 3 times 30. Oh, this is a big number, but it's going to work. Negative 19. What two numbers? Press pause and see if you can find the numbers. Don't give up. So negative 10 and negative 9, they multiply to positive 90, they add to negative 19. So we have two numbers, so x minus 10, x minus 9. Divide by 3, and then slide the denominator. Now 9 divided by 3 is 3, and you have your answer. 13. Multiply, that's negative 15, and then 14, and then think. So you can press pause and think what numbers match. So that's positive 15 and negative 1. Divide by 3. So 15 divided by 3, and then 1/3 is in lowest terms, so slide the 3 in front, and you have your factors. All right, it's time for you to try. Try number 14. So again, the two numbers that multiply to negative 50 and combine to negative 49. Write them down. So negative 50 and positive 1. Divide. So when I divide, 50 divided by 5, that's 10. 1/5 is in lowest terms. So take the denominator and slide it in front. All right, turn the page. Keep practicing the first number times the last number and the two numbers that fit, that multiply to 4 and add to 4. So we have plus 2 and plus 2. Divide by 4. Simplify it, that's 1/2. And then slide it. So both slide. So we could either write it as 2n plus 1, 2n plus 1, or we can write it as 2n plus 1 squared. Both are correct. Let's try the next one. Make sure I have the room I need for each question. All right, number 16, so it's 1 and negative 2. In fact, this is not even one where it is, this one's a basic trinomial because there's a 1 in front. So those two numbers are, let's see. 1 second. I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to continue.